where we used to put oil on our body, brown spots like these here, and even has reparative, no, what's the word? I don't know about you, but in the summer I feel inclined to pare down my skincare routine. Now, I am nearly 70, or at least I'm 68 and 3/4. I'm going to be 69 in September. And as I've got older, I have actually started to simplify my beauty routine, but I have honed in on 3 really essential products that I believe are really vital to keep our skin as youthful and as healthy as possible, which is all we can really hope to do as we approach our 3rd age. I'm just going to caveat this video by saying that I'm not an esthetician, I'm not a medical professional, and I'm not a scientist. I'm just a nearly 70-year-old woman interested in keeping my skin as healthy and as youthful as possible for as long as possible. Now, it's interesting that we women in our late 60s, early 70s and beyond have to take a lot of the skincare information that we glean from YouTube and reading articles and all of that on trust. Because if, like me, you came to skincare very late on, and I've only actually been using all these 3 products on a regular basis really for the last year, I would say, I am not going to see a massive improvement in my skin. Let me also say that my skin is normal. It's not dry, it's not oily, it's not really combination. So I don't have any massive skin concerns. I don't have hyperpigmentation. I don't have rosacea. I don't have any of those things. I'm very lucky, really. However, my skin is allergic to any type of fragrance, so I have to use unfragranced products. But apart from that, I'm very lucky. I don't really have to worry about covering anything up or treating any specific concern. My main skin concern, if you can call it that, is wrinkles and fine lines. I have them here, I have them here, here, all the classic areas. And I have the puckering and the sort of polka dot pores, as people tend to call them. So that's just a feature of aging, and I don't think there's very much we can do about that unless we have either some kind of non-invasive treatments or we have surgery. Now, I do think genes have quite a large part to play in the way we look as we age. And both my parents, particularly my father, looked a lot younger than his age until he retired in his mid-70s. And then he started to age very, very quickly. And my mother, who didn't look after herself, unfortunately, until it was too late, did start to look older, probably in her mid-60s, I would say. So I do think I'm lucky that my genes have helped me. I think it's partly a feature of having perhaps slightly olivey skin rather than very pale skin, because I think having very pale skin, you do have to tend to look after it more than perhaps kind of tough olivey skin like mine. For example, my skin isn't dry on my body. I don't really get very scaly skin, so I suppose in a way it is perhaps a little bit oily. It certainly used to be oily when I was a teenager, and in my early 20s I didn't have acne exactly, but I certainly had a lot of pimples. So that is the background to my skin, and that's where I'm coming from in terms of what I want to achieve. I want to keep my skin looking as healthy and as youthful as it can for as long as it can. Now, how do I do that, and how do I do that in the summer? Well, before I show you the products, I just want to say that we do take a lot of this on trust, and I do in particular. Like I said, I've only started using these products really consistently for the last year. Now, have I seen a difference in my skin? No, because I don't think that my skin is going to look any different. My wrinkles are not suddenly going to be minimized, and my brown spots are not going to disappear. What I'm trying to do is to preserve what I already have, or what I had when I started. But like I say, a lot of this is taken on trust. So I tend to trust dermatologists who don't, for example, have skin in the game, who don't have products. So for example, the Dr. Lee duo, I watch them regularly and I take a lot of what they say on trust. They don't have products to sell. Yes, sometimes they do have paid partnerships. I trust what they have to say about the importance of certain products and what products are perhaps less important or not worth bothering about. I also trust journalists who have integrity. So for example, Nadine Baggott, who I'm sure a lot of you know, although of course she does do paid partnerships, I trust her as a woman in her 60s to tell me what generic products I should be using. So never mind the branded products that she might talk about, it's actually the type of products that you need. And that's what we're talking about in this video. So let's start with the first product, which is vitamin C. Now this product is quite pricey and it's by Dermatology, which is an American brand. And this is vitamin C, E plus F. I'm not suggesting that you need to use a really expensive vitamin C product because The Ordinary does great products. It's science-backed, it's extremely well researched. However, there is research to show that vitamin C, E plus F does give really good results. Now let's just go back a bit and talk about why vitamin C is important. Again, not a dermatologist or a scientist, but my understanding is that it protects your skin from free radicals and is also really helpful in terms of preserving some collagen and elastin, because actually all the skincare products I'm going to talk about are about preserving our collagen and elastin, because that's what gives our skin the most youthful appearance it can. It means that it snaps back after you pinch it, which of course when we get to our age that's kind of almost gone, but at least we can preserve what we've got. And also collagen gives our skin that plumpness, that more youthful appearance. So that's really what we're trying to preserve with all these three products. So the vitamin C helps that, and the vitamin C is something that you would apply in the morning under your SPF, which we're going to come to in a minute. So actually, of all the three products I'm talking about, the vitamin C is probably the least important of the three. But given that you can buy an incredibly well-priced vitamin C from The Ordinary or the Inky List, and there are other brands, I'll list as many down below as I can find that are reasonably priced as well as the higher priced ones, you won't go wrong with using a vitamin C. And it will help your skin. You probably won't see any difference if you haven't got any pigmentation issues like I don't have, but it probably will help the efficacy of the other two products that I'm going to talk about. Now, the next product I'm going to talk about, which is probably the most important of all three, is an SPF or a sunscreen. I don't know how we've got into calling them SPFs, because SPF stands for sun protection factor. So actually, it's not really the name of a product, is it? It's a sunscreen. That's what we're going to call it. It's a sunscreen. The SPF is the number on there, the sun protection factor. So factor 50 or factor 25 or factor 30. Anyway, that is the most important of all these three products that you need to wear. Now, why do you need to wear it and on a daily basis? I had to convince myself that I needed to wear this because I come from a generation where we used to put oil on our bodies. That's what we used. We used Ambre Solaire, which had no sun protection factor at all. It had nothing. It was literally just oil. You probably could have used olive oil, to be honest. But that's all I used. And because I came from a dark-skinned family, an olive-skinned family, we didn't feel like we needed to protect our skins because we never burnt. I think I've only ever been sunburnt once or twice in my entire life. So we just didn't think we needed it. And then I suppose we started to become aware of it. But even then, I wasn't really convinced that I needed to apply it every day. I suppose it was because I didn't understand about skin cancer. I didn't really know about it. I didn't really think about it because I was a darkish or olive-skinned woman. And I just thought, well, my skin is fine. Both my mother and my grandmother had darkish skin. My dad actually didn't. He was very dark-haired, but he had pale skin. But I really wasn't that bothered. So fast forward to last summer when I was 66 and, well, coming up for 67, I must have watched something or read something about how important wearing an SPF. Oh, there I go again. I must have read or heard something about why wearing a sunscreen was so important for preserving the skin that we have. And that's when I did a deep dive into it. And I'll link below the video. I actually did about 3 reasons to wear sunscreen. Now, I hadn't appreciated, like I say, that it preserves your elastin and your collagen. And of course, I knew about skin cancer by then as well. But the other thing that I didn't realise was that these brown spots like these here are caused by the sun. So I thought, well, okay, I definitely don't want any more of those. And I think that was the one thing that tipped me over was, right, I really need to wear a sunscreen and a dedicated sunscreen every day rather than relying on my foundation to provide it, which is what I used to do. And I need to wear it every single day, come rain or come shine. So that's what I do. Now, again, you do not need to spend a lot of money on sunscreens. This one, for example, by Ambre Solaire is incredibly reasonably priced. Again, all the details will be down below for you. I also have the Cerave, which I really like, and I did a really comprehensive video on all the sunscreens that I like wearing, which I'll link down below for you as well. The video that I did was very comprehensive. If you're really interested in looking into different sunscreens with different price points, then do watch that video. But the most important takeaway from what I'm saying is, please wear a sunscreen every single day, come rain or come shine, and that way you will preserve the skin that you already have, and you never know, it might improve it. Now, the final product that I want to talk about is retinol. Now, again, not being a scientist or an esthetician, I'm not going to go into the different types of retinols and retinols and tretinoins and all the different kinds of the variations of vitamin A, which is what this product is. In fact, this isn't even called a retinol, this is called a crystal retinol. But the basic idea is wearing a vitamin A derivative, which all these retinols, retinols, retinaldehydes and tretinoins are, is a way of preserving your elastin, your collagen, and even has reparative, is that right? And can even repair some of the damage in your skin. Now, as a nearly 70-year-old woman, I'm not expecting to see any results from this product. What I am expecting, what I'm hoping for, and again, we're talking about trust here, is what I'm hoping for is that it will preserve the skin that I have. By the way, I'm really sorry, but my entropion is bothering me at the moment. I've got a problem with my eye, and the rim of my eye keeps turning inwards, and I'm having an operation a bit later in the month. So forgive me if you suddenly see it jumping up, that's what it is. Anyway, let's get back to retinol. Retinol is definitely something that is affordable. However, there are some caveats to using it. And one of the reasons I didn't start using it until last year was because I think I was told by a dermatologist that I wouldn't be able to get on with it. Now, it's true, I did have quite a few false starts in trying it. And it can be a journey, if you know what I mean, because when you first start using it and you have to use a pea-sized amount, and again, I'll put a video down below by DrSamBunting, who does a really good video on how to start using retinol. You have to be very gentle and slow. As Nadine says, it's slow and steady wins the race. So you can't just go all in and never use more than one pump, because it can be very drying and you do have to buffer it. So Dr. Sam has all sorts of suggestions on how to buffer your skin when you're using it. So for example, you could put your moisturizer on first and then apply a pea-sized amount, because that's all you need, or a pump-sized amount of your retinol. Or you can, I think, put the moisturizer on afterwards. But anyway, all the details of what she suggests will be down below for you. But I think if you can tolerate retinol and just use it slowly to begin with, then it really will, at least all the science says, it really will help your skin, either to preserve what you've got or to improve it. Now, I haven't seen any improvements in my skin, but I haven't seen any detrimental effects either. So again, it is about taking the science and the doctors a little bit on trust and doing what you think is right for your skin. And you don't need to spend a lot of money on your retinol. Again, the Ordinary and the Inky List have their own versions and they're very reasonably priced. So let's recap. The 3 best products that I recommend for your over 60, approaching 70 skin are vitamin C, sunscreen and retinol. So there you have it. I really hope this video has been helpful to you, and if it has, I'd be really, really grateful if you would give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, because that way you will get notified every time I upload a video, and at the moment my schedule is Wednesdays and Sundays. And let me know in the comments below, are there any products that you use that I'm not suggesting? Because I really love the community that we're building here on YouTube, my tiny little micro community. I'm so grateful for all your comments and I take them all on board. And thanks again so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. It really honestly does. You make an old broad very happy. And I hope you're all doing really well. And I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Bye.